So on the workbench, I've got this compact Disk Pro computer, and here we're going to swap out the standard 3.5 floppy drive with one of these LS-120 Superdisks from a previous video. Let's get to it. So first thing I need to do with this is get the cover open. So I'm going to take the thumb screws out of the back here. And then we'll probably have to use a flat-bladed screwdriver to help push the case open, because this does tend to be a little hard to open initially. Let's see if we can get it to move. Well, I guess I don't have to use a screwdriver to get it to open. And so there's the inside of our Pentium 2 system. And the interesting thing that Compaq did with these Disk Pros is they have this little mechanism for if you've got it in the tower configuration or if you've got it in the desktop configuration, depending if the drives are oriented like this or like that. And so it makes it very easy to take them out and change them around. So I'm taking the fluffy out. So I'll pull the connector there. And we'll need this Berg power wire later for sure. So we will just push up on this and then push the floppy out. Well, actually, before I do that, I need to actually take the front cover here off. Otherwise, we're not going to get very far. Getting a little hit of myself there. And you got these green arrows to tell you where to push on the tabs. There. That pulls that off, of course. There goes that plate. Now we can push in and take that drive out. So push up on this, and it comes out just like that. And we'll just change the floppy out. So take our screws out of there, and this Superdisk will be able to go right in place because it's got the same formatting and everything. So let's go ahead and get this out. Alright, that's our fluffy. We can put that aside. Let's bring our Superdisk drive over. So we need to put one of these right here. Okay, well, we got our drive installed in there. It's just ready to slide back in. Go ahead and put the little plastic covers back together. Okay, and then we put our piece back on, and this should fit. Look at that, like a glove. Fits perfectly on there. I guess Compaq had intentions that this would be compatible with Superdisk drives by having that oblong cutout. Works perfect. And now we just slide it in. It snaps in place like so. So now we need to work on connections. So come over here. So first thing I need to actually do, well, actually I'm going to pop it back out because I need to adjust this jumper because the jumper right now is configured, I believe, for master. Let me look at one of these other drives real quick. Let's see. It actually tells you right there. So master, slave, cable select, mod 0. We need slave. Pull jumper off and go up to slave, because this is going to be off the hard disk's IDE cable. Here, now we got it on slave. Back. And as I said, now we got to work on connections because our hard disk interface cable is just a single right now. So I'm going to have to get one that's got a secondary. Okay, we found ourselves a cable. So let's work on this hard disk. Pull this up the way. There, now it looks like it's in place now. So, word power connector. Get that, and our hard disk. Alright, let's get power this up preliminary just to see if it's behaving. And we'll hook up a monitor and look at this a little more closely. And I see the standby on the board. Let's see what this does. Looks like everything is working. Alright, let's hook up a monitor and start testing this out and see if we got everything set up correctly. Alright, let's power the system up and see what we get. Okay, the light did go out. Hard to see. Obviously it's throwing some errors up about diskette controller and system options right here on the monitor, so we need to address those. So we need to get it to where we can get it auto adjusted again. Go into setup. Now it's not saying there's any fixed disks presence, which means the jumper on the hard drive might be incorrect, or we got something not hooked up properly. And no floppy installed. Removable media, boot, enable. Not installed, not installed. So they're not being detected, which means we need to go back and fix something. So I've gone ahead and buttoned the compact disk probe back up, and you can see our Superdisk LS-120 drive here. And I did have to change out the IDE cable. That was the problem I was having before, is the cable wasn't working, so I changed it out. Didn't really have to change a whole lot in the BIOS configuration. It did support the drive natively, which is good because a lot of these Windows 98 and up machines supported using removable disks like the Superdisk natively on there in place of the floppy drive, so it's able to boot using floppy. So I'll go ahead and demonstrate that now. This is my Windows 98 boot disk custom that I put together. So we'll put it in and power it on, and it will boot from the disk. So there you can see it's flashing, starting Windows 98. You can't quite see, well, you can see the monitor on the side over here. Now load it with CD-ROM support. And of course, compared to a regular floppy, it does load it pretty quick. I'm now at the command prompt, and I can access stuff on the floppy disk there through it in DOS, no problem. And it will also be able to work with Superdisks as well in DOS. It will natively support that as well. So it works in place of the floppy drive. So let's go ahead and get the Desk Pro loaded into Windows and try the drive out under Windows. So here we are in Windows 98 now. We've got our Superdisk drive there, so let me go ahead and we'll start again with our 3.5 regular floppy disk. Put it in there. Go to my computer. And the computer does still recognize it as a 3.5 floppy drive, even though it is a Superdisk. But I can click on there, I can see my stats, double click, and I can access the contents on the floppy. And I can access them pretty fast. Looks like it's looking good there. And I did go ahead and install the Superdisk format utility, as we can see down there, for helping to format disks. So let me go ahead and eject this. And now let's switch over to a Superdisk. So here's our disk right here. Put that in. I'm going to check it. And there it says capacity 120 megabytes. And this right now just has the online services and Windows 98 tour copied to the disk from the Windows 98 CD. We can go ahead and launch it here. You see our drive light flashing away. Let's check out the What's New section.
Easier to use. More reliable.
Of course, we don't need to see the whole introduction, but we can click on Computer Essentials.
Welcome to Computer Essentials, a hands-on introduction to your computer. Press the right arrow key on your keyboard to continue. If you have a question about how something works, most software applications include a built-in help feature that provides information and suggestions.
So I think you pretty much get the idea there. So again, this is using our 120 megabyte Superdisk. And we're just looking at the online services right now. And periodically you do hear the drive head recalibrate, both when it uses regular floppies and the Superdisk. That's kind of normal for it. But I've checked this drive out already, and I know that this one works really well out of the drives that I have available. So, there you have it. Basically a Superdisk drive that came out of one of these external housings here, a Model 2 in particular, taken out of its casing and then installed into a desktop computer as an internal drive and working flawlessly. So that's how you can take one of these LS-120 Superdisks from an external one you can get more inexpensively and make it into an internal drive and stick it in your desktop computer and be able to use it both as a floppy and as a Superdisk drive. Hey guys, Brian here. Do me a favor and click that like button down below, and while you're at it, go ahead and click the subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any new content when I post it. See you guys in the next one.